Today I'm going to go over campaign structure for campaigns on a very high budget. There's so much content out there on meta ads and how to run meta ads, how to structure your campaigns when you're not spending a lot. There's not much content out there on how to structure campaigns on very high budgets, very high ad spends, and the very specific problems that come with that. And if you think of this logically, when you're spending a few $100 and you make a mistake or it goes bad for a day or two, it's not that bad. When you're spending over 10,000 Rand per day and you have a campaign that just goes wrong or does nothing for a day or two, you're losing a lot more money. So it's important to keep an eye on this and to know what to do when these mistakes do come up. So we have a meta ad campaign spending over 10,000 Rand per day. It's for one of our Euro products and it's been going well for quite some time, but it's recently run into some complications and I'm going to explain this quickly. So we were running a 1 CBO, 1 ad set, broad targeting, and tons of creative, with huge variation. Top of funnel UGC, founder-led stuff, bottom of funnel stuff, images, video edits with trending music, just plain authentic talking style UGC. We really covered our basis in terms of the creative, but I'm going to show you what the issue was here. So we were running one big CBO, let's call it 10K, and that was per day. Now, in the CBO campaign, we had hundreds of little creatives here, and they had variations of all kinds, as I've just mentioned. Actually, I think it was about 80 creatives, not 100. Let's say 80 creatives. Now, this was going well until we added one of our new UGC videos we just had made, and what happened is, over a period of a day or two, almost the entire budget went to one creative. And the worst part of this is that one creative never generated a sale. So for this day, we literally spent 10K with no sale. Now, Meta's algorithms could have a bigger plan here, and potentially it was going to fix itself down the line if you zoom out a bit and take a bigger picture view. But the brand couldn't afford to wait a week for the metrics to come around. Hopefully, you don't even know. But what actually happened was there was a day or two that went by where sales tanked and we're still spending 10K per day. So as I mentioned, for a while, the CBO was working until it didn't. So there are 3 things we have recently done to fix this. So let me show you quickly. So just to show you here quickly, in the first week of July, we had this campaign running. And you can see from the 1st of July to the 7th of July, it spent about 75,000 Rand at pretty much a 5 return on ad spend. And we were pretty happy with this. This was the distribution of spend across the different ads. Obviously, I've cut out the ads here just for the privacy of the brand. But this was the distribution of spend. And you can see the ROAS on this side. So this is when a CBO is working correctly. If I fast forward a couple of days, we added a new UGC video, a brilliant UGC video actually. And what you can see happened, and this has happened a couple of times now, it took 8,600 Rand of spend over these 2 days. And you can see the next biggest spend is under 3,000. And it only generated a 1.77 ROAS. Now, I'm making this video a week or two later. I think this attribution actually came through for the sale afterwards. In real time, this was actually like 0 and it spent 8,000 and the next day it was probably closer to 10,000. So that is worrying. And as you can see here, the overall campaign results dropped. The first thing you could do, and this is the one I'd actually recommend most people start with in this predicament, is run an ABO. So if you don't know what this is ad set budget optimization. It's when you set the budget or the spend at the ad set level. So I'm going to explain that here. You could see this almost like you are diversifying your portfolio. So that's when you say, instead of saying 10K to a CBO, you might say ad set 1 spends 2,500, ad set 2 spends 2,500, and so forth. This way you control the ad spend at the ad set level. And how you can separate the ad sets is by different offers or different creative types, or even by funnel stages, top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. This way, you don't have all your eggs in one basket. And if one ad set goes south, you still have the others represented well. But what we're actually doing here is separating the creatives accordingly. So let's say you have UGC, you have images, you have founder-led stuff, and you just have general video. You've now set the spend for each of them. So each concept is going to get the correct amount of spend that's allocated to them. So even if in the video ad set, this one creative takes the full spend and it cannibalizes the ad budget, at least you have the video represented. You've still got your founder ad set doing well, hopefully, the images ad set and the UGC ad set. So this way you're diversifying things. It's a lot safer. So option 2 would be in the actual ads manager, you can set up some automated rules. So I'm going to put up a screen recording here for you to have a look at how to do this. So I've built one here that could be applicable to this type of problem. So if you go create rule, you can name the rule here. I'll just call it something like high spend safety. Then you can say this applies to all active ads. The action is turn off ads. Now you can set your conditions, your logic. So you can say spend is greater than, let's just say 7,000 ad. And obviously it's not just about the spend. If the ROAS is less than a 2, so it's if you spend more than 7K and the ROAS is less than a 2 in the past 2 days, create. So that's something that could also work if you set a rule like that, saying if it spends beyond a certain amount, now you have to choose an amount that's relevant to you and your current level, and the returns or cost per result goes past a certain point that you aren't happy with, if it meets both of that criteria, then it'll switch the ad off or the ad set off. You can also make use of automated rules like this, and you can set how often the rule gets checked. So option 3 is you still have your main CBO that was spending 10K per day, but instead of 10K, you maybe change that to like, let's say 8K per day, and then you launch another campaign, a smaller campaign. It could be CBO or ABO at, let's say, 2K per day. And in this smaller campaign, all you are going to do is launch your new creatives. And you're not going to have many there. You're going to use it as a testing ground or a proving ground for your new creatives. That way, ensuring sufficient spend goes to them so you can prove the concept before upgrading them to the main CBO campaign. This is a step in the right direction, but there is still an issue with this step. Because even if you prove a winner in this campaign and you upgrade it, the same thing could still happen. That it's not necessarily going to be a winner here. I've seen ads that are super successful in one campaign, you move them to another, they do nothing. So the one that gets upgraded here could still cannibalize this budget and still result in the same thing. But it is a better solution than just having this when this goes south. So this is the third option I'd suggest. Now, the fourth option is just the old school one. It's the one you don't want to hear. I wish I had a better option. It's to just, when you launch new creatives into a big high spending CBO, manually keep a very close eye on it for the first day or two. And not even once a day, check it 4 times per day. Because as we mentioned in the beginning of this video, when you're spending a lot, half a day goes by, that's potentially 6,000 Rand down the drain, even more if you're spending like huge amounts. So this would be, it's not the ideal solution, but it's the old school way, and you need someone managing big ad accounts like this. Check it all the time. If you see a creative that's not generating sales and it's cannibalizing the entire budget, switch it off, move it to a different campaign, do something. So I thought I'd make this video because we've recently had this problem and there isn't a lot of information out there on this, as I've mentioned. Everyone wants to talk about how to be successful on 100 Rand a day, 200 Rand a day. But yeah, what if you way past that? There's like no information. So we manage a couple of these ad accounts spending in excess of 500,000 Rand per month. And you have campaigns like this, and these problems are unique to high spending ad accounts. And you need to know what you're doing. You need to be able to read the metrics and know what to do when these problems do arise. So I hope this helps.